The old man sputters wordlessly and leaves. Not every elderly man, and not every doctor is like this. The blessed grow externally old and inwardly young. They live the resurrection. Why should they care about the plots, the hatred and heroism of the world? Their deep core is love of a soul guide. Why should they care about the plots, the hatred and heroism of the world? Their deep core is the love of a soul guide. God lives there. A child is weeping on the coffin of his father. Why are they taking you under the ground to such a narrow room, with no doormat and no rug, no lamp, no bread, no smell of food being cooked, no door with a working latch, no way up to the roof, no neighbor to call for help? Your body, which people love to touch and kiss, why should it go to a damp place where nothing lasts? The son keeps describing the grave house and weeping. Young Nasruddin comes along listening. They're taking the dead man to our house? Don't be foolish, says his father. But listen to what he's saying. No lamp, no food, no door in good repair. A rotten roof. It sounds like our house.
Just like our house.
Just like our house. In the same way, people have the marks of their willfulness on them, but they can't see the evidence. In their houses, narrow and dark, until under the hill and out of the sunlight. We need more windows.
Yes. Yes. We need a different perspective.
Different perspective.
And that could be only by just moving to the next window.
Just change the way we look at things.
Right.
Unfortunately, the world seems to be more and more separating, more conflicts, as opposed to coming closer. And in the process, we all believe we're doing the right thing.
Yes.
One of the things that it kind of saddens me is the key religions that are at odds with one another today. The Muslim world and the Christianity and Judaism, and the conflicts that we have created as a result of all this. All hope for this resurrection, for this return of the Messiah. But unfortunately, in all cases, they describe that arrival as a result of everything having gone bad. That the world is really in deep trouble before they come. So I always wonder, what incentive do we have if we are devout Muslims or Christians or Jewish and we're really wanting to see the Messiah in our lifetime? What incentive do we have to create peace? Because if the world is just very peaceful and happy and birds are singing and we are all good friends, then according to those descriptions, they probably won't be coming. I do think that Rumi has a slightly differing opinion, which is they come when we are in that place, in that peaceful place. So it's not really up to them to solve our conflicts. When we solve our conflicts, we see them. And that, to me, is a 180-degree opposite thinking. One believes that the more problem the more likely they come. And one believes that the more peaceful we are and the more understanding we have, the more likely we see them.
Well, that understanding, when we see those conflicts, and we can see into those conflicts, the wisdom actually is able to release itself, and we can, isn't that a wise thing that we did? That conflict brought this awareness. That suffering brought this awareness. And that awareness brought this wisdom.
Right.
And that wisdom brought this oneness. So that's the peeling of the grape. The inner sanctum is peeled by one layer at a time. And through a practice that I have embraced, that practice actually is bringing awareness to my own being, that everything is all the same. No matter what it looks like on the outside, the inside is still the same. And we all are still one. So we're going back to that very first poem that we talked about, the glance. That through that glance, through that oneness, we all have become one. So make sure you look into each other's eyes. But I'd like to ask Sayed, how are you putting Rumi in your life? How are you incorporating that? Because I know that love is inspiring you to move forward to things that you desire.
Right. One of the issues with trying to marry a search for enlightenment and the pragmatic side of living in this world is that they just tug you on different directions. And some people come to the conclusion that, well, I should just leave for the mountains and that would be the best way to, learn the truth. Ramin and I are both engineers by training, so we are far from that, the Sufi that threw his clothes and walked into the mountain. But at the same time, I think that that capability exists. We should not, oneness, if you really truly believe in oneness, in other words, that we all are part of this divine, per se, right? That we and the plants and the fish and the mountains and the ocean are all connected in some ways. Then what we do, going to work every day and doing engineering work or selling books or filming this show, these are part of that divine work. There is no heresy in this work than in being an engineer than there is to go to the mosque and worship. In all of that we can be Rumi-like in our ways. So how do we become Rumi-like and be engineers at the same time? No one is banned from looking at the sunset and appreciating its beauty. No one ever says only those that are Sufis or only those that have understood Rumi or those that are Orthodox Christians should look at the sunset and appreciate it.